Okay, so now what I'm going to do is review Chapter 9, and depending on how long this one is, I'm going to start with 9.1, and I may put 9.2 in a different recording, but we'll see by the end here. But 9.1 is going to be calculations related to business. So we're going to be talking about markup, profit, and discounts. They're going to be calculated every day in the pharmacy. So we're going to talk about how to do those different ways. So like any business, the pharmacy must make a profit. That is, it must have more receipts than expenses to continue to provide customer services. So the overhead, the pharmacy's overhead is what we're going to do first. So the pharmacy's overhead is generally the cost of doing business. So the overhead or overall cost for the pharmacy is going to include like all your workers' salaries, the equipment that you need to purchase. That can be, of course, larger, software maintenance, software, um, vial bottles, lids, operating expenses, rent, electricity, utilities, and so forth. The net profit, of course, in the pharmacy, um, for each drug, the net profit is going to be the profit calculated, is going to be the difference between the selling price and the overall cost. So the overall cost is the sum of the cost to purchase, of course, the drug from the manufacturer, the pharmacy's purchase price, and the cost to dispense the drug. So in the pharmacy, for each drug you dispense, you'll have the cost of the drug plus a dispensing fee. And that dispensing fee usually is what it costs for the people handling the medicines and so forth, and how to prepare it and everything as well. Gross profit is the difference between the selling price and the pharmacy's purchase price. Another term is profit margin is going to be the difference between the cost of doing business and the selling price or receipts for a product. Okay. The markup rate is going to be expressed as percentage as it is compounded. So if you look into your book on chapter 9.1, it gives you all those definitions I kind of went over. Um, but I want to go over those before I start doing any problems. So the discount, of course, is a reduced price that the pharmacy may give a prescription for. So these problems in 9.1 are going to be all related to like markup, overhead, discounts, things like that. Okay, and the questions are too large for me to write on here plus work a problem out. So you'll need to use your go with me through your book. First of all, I just like to let everybody know when I do these, I do abbreviate a lot. So like OH, I abbreviate for overhead. PP usually is purchase price. C to D means cost to dispense. Okay, O-AL is overall. C, overall cost. I'll put up my little formulas I use for each one of these, but I use abbreviations. So SP is going to be for selling price. P, I just use for profit. D, percent P, desired percent profit. NP I use for net profit. MU I use for markup. GP, gross profit. DIS, capital C, I use for discount. And these are just shorthands that I made up for myself. It's not anything that's universal. DISCR, it'd be discount rate. And QTY is quantity. Okay. So these are some of the abbreviations as I go through chapter 9.1 and 9.2 that you'll see these abbreviations up. Okay. So let me go to the first question. This is on 9.1 section, page 235, and I'm going to do number 1. So if you want to read the question, you actually have 3 questions with 1 scenario. So the drugs RU pharmacy has the following overhead expenses. Use the information to answer questions 1 through 3. Say pharmacist salary $135,000, technician salary $52,000, rent $23,000, utilities $6,000, computer maintenance $4,000, software subscriptions $2,000, liability insurance $4,000, business insurance $4,000, and drug purchases $750,000. Okay. So look at question 1 and using that information. If an 18% profit is desirable, what must the pharmacy's income be in order to meet this goal? So if you look at the first part, you're going to think, okay, what do I need to figure out to get if an 18% is desirable? What must the pharmacy's income be in order to meet this goal? So you want to figure out the profit amount, and then you're going to take the overhead plus the profit, and it's going to equal the income. Okay, so first I do overhead times the discount percentage, the desired percentage profit, which is, if you look in the problem, is 18%. Okay, the overhead, what you do is you add up all that information I just gave you, the pharmacist salary all the way through drug purchases. Add all that up. That's $980,000. And you're going to times it by your desired percent profit. Okay, but you can't multiply percent, so I always put that in a decimal form, which would be 0.18. Okay, so 980,000 times 0.18 would equal 176,400 would be your profit. Okay, because that equals profit. Then you want to take your overhead and subtract your profit to get your income, what you're actually making, not counting everything you're paying out. So 980,000. Then you're going to add. Of course, you're going to add. You're going to add your. Let me put my little formulas in here. Your 176,400. So I'm sorry about that. You're going to add those together. Add your profit together. So the income with the overhead plus the profit would be 1,156,400. That's going to be the income. Okay, so this would be the income. This would be the actual profit without the overhead. And then this would be the overhead paying out. But together, those would equal your income altogether. Question number 2. This is still that same scenario. If the pharmacy's income was 1,401,489,000, or million, excuse me, what is the percent profit? So with this one, all you want to do is you're going to take the income, and you're going to minus the overhead, and it's going to equal the profit. Okay. And then you're going to times it by 100. I'll tell you but this is the first step. So you're going to take their 1,401,489. Yeah, I'm getting tongue-tied. I apologize. Subtract your 980,000, and you're going to come up with a profit of 421,489. That is the profit. Okay, so you're going to take your profit and your overhead, and you're going to divide it. So you take 421,489, and you're going to divide it by your overhead. So this is your profit, this is your overhead. Okay, and then you times it by 100 to get the percent profit. Okay, so for that profit divided by your overhead, that number actually comes out to be 0.430, and then when you times it by 100, it comes up to be 43%. So your 43% is going to be your percent profit. Okay. Number 3, using that same scenario, if the pharmacy's income is 1,191,692, that's going to be the this is another scenario of income. What is the percent profit? So you're just doing the same thing we just did previously. You take your income, you're going to minus your overhead, which is your 980,000, which equals your profit, which is 211,692. Okay, so to get your percent profit, excuse me, you're going to take your profit and you're going to divide it by your overhead. Okay, and then you're going to times it by, 100. So when you take 211,692 divided by 980,000, it comes out to be 0.216. Then you're going to multiply it by 100, and that's going to leave you a 21.6%. So that would be your percent profit. Okay, now we'll skip over here and do a different one. We will do number 9. So you're going to calculate the dollar amount of net profit and the percent profit markup rate for the following individual prescription items. Round to whole percents. The dispensing fee is $4.25 for each prescription. So number 9 is one prescription, number 10 is another prescription. Each of those prescriptions, you're going to need that dispensing fee. So I always just write up here, dispensing fee is $4.25. So we don't want to forget that. I always forget to look up, so I have to write it down. So you're trying to find the net profit first, and then you want to do the percent markup rate, or the markup rate as well. Okay. So what I do is I'm going to take, if you read your prescription here, you have the propranolol, I'm going to abbreviate, 10 milligrams. The purchase price is $3.96 per 100 tablets. So it's always important to know when they give you a price, how many tablets is that price for, because sometimes you may have to change that. You're going to dispense 50 tablets. And the RX charge is, so this is what they're charging patients for this drug, is $8.59. Okay, so to find the net profit for this prescription, I'll put RX here. I kind of abbreviated it out. You need to take, of course, first you want to figure out for 50 tablets, and the price is for 100 tablets. So this is just common knowledge. You want to divide this $3.96 by half, but just divide it by 2, and that'll give it per 50 tablets. Okay. If you wanted to figure out how much it was per, if you have like an odd number 30 here, you could have took your $3.96 and divided it by 100 and then multiplied it by the tablets you're to dispense, and it'd give you a number. But since we know 50 is half of 100, we'll just divide it. So $3.96 divided by 2 is going to be $1.98 for 50 tablets. Okay. So we got that amount right there all the way. So all you have to do is you take your $1.98 for 50 tablets. I'm just putting that parentheses just to let me remind me. And then you're going to add your dispensing fee, which is $4.25. Okay, so your cost You have $6.23 total for your overall cost, okay, for just the 50 tablets. But the pharmacy charged $8.59, okay? So to get the net profit, you're going to take the $8.59. This is how much it costed them to dispense it and make it and all that. So $6.23. This is the charge. This is the cost. And you're just going to subtract it, and you come up with $2.36 for net profit. Okay. So next you want to find out your percent profit markup. So what you want to do is you want to take your net profit and you want to divide it by your overall cost. Okay, so your net profit is $2.36, and your overall cost is $6.23. Take that number and times it by 100, and you, of course, you have that should come up to 37.9%, and you usually round those to it'll be 38% would be your markup rate. Okay, so a lot of these, especially in these chapter, is you're doing a lot of different formula, and it's not really a set formula. Like to find the markup, it's a small formula here. You have to know that net profit, you have to know the overall cost, divide it, multiply it by 100, and you'll get the markup. But you may have to do other additions or subtractions prior to figuring that up. So that's kind of where it gets a little confusing for some people, but it'll come with practice. Sometimes I still have to stop and think, okay, what is it asking? Because I'll get to the problem, I'm like, I'll have to go back. So number 10, of course, you're asking the same thing. Remember, your dispensing fee is $4.25. You want to know the net profit and the percent profit. So you're going to be doing the same thing as you did in number 9, but you're just going to have different numbers. So your RX is amoxicillin drug, 250 milligrams. Okay, which that's just telling you the name of the drug. You really don't need that information for figuring these. Your pharmacy's purchase price, I'm going to abbreviate PP, is $8.50 per 500 capsules. And then you have you're only dispensing 30 capsules. And the RX charge, and what they're charging the customers is $14.80. Okay, so remember the first thing you need to do here is you need to find the overall cost. Okay, so to get the markup rate, you need the net profit divided by the overall cost. So you need to get the first formula here, overall cost. I just kind of divided it up. I had never on that last slide. It's going to be your purchase price plus your cost to dispense. Oops. Would equal your overall cost. Okay, so over here your purchase price is $8.50. But if you notice, it's per 500 capsules. But over here, you want 30 capsules. Okay, so what I do is I always take, if it's not a number that you could, pretty much just do in your head, I take the $8.50, divide it by 500, and then multiply it by 30. So you want to take the $8.50, divide it by, of course, I'll just put here, divide by 500, and that gives you the cost per each capsule, okay, which is going to be 0.017 per each pill, okay, and then you take that per per one peel, and you're going to times it by how many you need, 30. So you're going to take the 0.017 times it by 30. Okay, and that's where you come up with your 51 cents. Okay, so we're going to go over here. Our purchase price has now changed to 51 cents because you only wanted it for 30 tablets. So you have 0.51 cents. And then you're just going to add, this is your purchase price for 30 tablets. You're going to add it for your dispensing fee, which is $4.25. And then so your overall cost is going to be $4.76, and that's going to be the overall cost. Okay. So now that we have the overall cost, we're going to take the selling price and we're going to subtract the overall cost, and it's going to equal the profit. Okay, so your selling price is $14.80. So you take your $14.80, you're going to minus your overall cost, which is $4.76. Okay, and then that's going to come up to $10. You're going to subtract it, $10.04 profit. Okay, now to do your markup, okay, you're going to take your net profit, you're going to divide it by the overall cost, and you're going to multiply it by 100. So your markup, you're going to go net price, or net profit, is going to be your $10.04. Your overall cost is your $4.76. So you're taking the numbers that we've already gotten here. And then you're going to divide those and then multiply it by 100. And then it should come up to be 210%. It's 210.9, I think. So it comes up. You're going to round that to 211% markup. Okay. So that is an example for number 10. Now we're going to switch over here and we'll do another set of different ones. This is number 16 on page 236, and it is telling you the pharmacy is selling the following items at a discount this week. Calculate the discounted selling price for each. So if you have, for this example, you have, of course, your cough syrup. The regular selling price is $5.89, and it's discounted at 20%. So for these, all these 16 through 23, you'll need the following formula. The selling price times your discount rate equals your discount. And then you're going to take your selling price minus your discount, and it's going to equal your discounted selling price. Okay. So if you look at that first question, number 16, so first you're going to take your selling price, which is $5.89. You're going to multiply it by your discount rate. It's 20%. And remember, we're going to put this in a decimal, so 0.20. And that's going to equal 1.178 is going to be the discount. Okay. Then, secondly, you're going to take your, after you found out what your discount is, you're going to take your selling price, $5.89. You're going to minus the discount, which is $1. And I don't round to the very end, by the way. Okay, and then you take it $1.17, but 17.8. So we're going to leave it out 3. And then that's going to equal $4.71. And that's rounded. And that is going to be your discount selling price. Okay, so what we did here is we took the selling price, and the discount's 20%, and when you multiply that by $5.89, that gives you your discount. So a dollar, really $1.18 off of $5.89 is what you're doing, and that would make your cost for, or the discount selling price, $4.71. Okay. Again, you do that again for number 17. Okay, so number 17, you're going to do the same thing. Okay, but on number 17, your numbers just change. It's the only difference. So you have facial tissues, regular selling price is $1.19, the discount of 15%. So you're going to take first, you're going to take your selling price, which is $1.19. You're going to times it by your discount rate, which is in a percent, but we're going to put it in decimals, 0.15 because it's 15%. And that's going to equal 0.1785, which is going to be your discount price. So then you're going to take the second part, you're going to take your selling price of $1.19, and you're going to minus your discount, and it's going to equal, and I'll round at the end here, that discounted selling price is going to be $1.01. So now, 16 through 23 is done that way. When you go here to, we're going to start on number 24 and do another section. Okay, this section is a little bit different. You're going to calculate the following and state the answer in dollars or percent as indicated. So these, everything that you've kind of done in between here, each one of those have a small formula. You're going to do those. Okay, so number 24, you have an antiviral ointment costs a pharmacy $12.50 per tube. The standard markup is 30%. What is the total selling price of a box of 12 tubes? So you have $12.50 is your cost. Okay, your markup is standard markup is going to be 30%. Is 0.30. So you're going to multiply those, and you're going to get the markup price, which is $3.75, is the markup price. Okay, so you want to know, of course, what is the total selling price of a box of 12 tubes. So we know the cost, again, is $12.50, so you're going to take your $12.50 cost, you're going to add your markup price, which should be $3.75, and that's going to come out to be $16.25 per one. So then all you need to do is you want 12 tubes, so you're going to times that by 12. Okay, and that number should come to $195. So you just have to, some of them will change a little bit as you go through there. It all depends on what it's asking for. If you have any questions on how to work one out, if you send me the page number and the question, since it's an online class, I can, like I did right here, work it out for you and then post it online is what I can do. Or, because a lot of you have not been able to come in to meet with me. So what we'll do is just, if you have questions on how to work out a problem, if you just send me the page number and the problem, I'll work it out and post it online for you. Hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions.